With the way the Challenge Cup's structured, April and May gets a little bit stop-start if you're not in those competitions. How have you found that as a squad and a coaching staff, like managing through those periods where you go in maybe 2 weeks between games every 3 or 4 weeks or so?
Yeah, obviously you want to be playing in the Challenge Cup, but the upside to obviously being knocked out is you give your boys a rest. They get their bodies right and ready between those breaks, like you said, sort of a stop-start. So we got to manage their training. You don't lose fitness if you don't play for one game. So our boys are real sensible and they know their bodies and we trust them and they trust how we prepare their schedules. So yeah.
Is it giving an opportunity for any of the guys who were perhaps struggling, carrying a few injuries before the break? Are you going to have any of those guys back this weekend? That extended break meant you've got anybody's back?
Yeah, obviously our last one was a tough one. So to have a week off leading up to this game, like you said, gave our boys the opportunity to freshen up a few bumps and bruises as you do, and coming to the midpoint of the season, it's a good time to have a bit of time off leading into big games because we got a big run of I think a run of 7 games that are big games for us, and obviously everyone's fighting for that top 6. Is probably the closest we've seen in years before, so we want to be in that mix.
Like you say, the run of fixtures and how they work. How do you, as a coaching staff, how do you look at it? Are you looking at it week on week, or are you sort of looking at it as a block of fixtures and making plans in advance, or is it pure focus on Wigan this weekend first?
No, we don't go specifically on blocks, but obviously, like you said, we got time off into 2 games, into time off, into 2 games, into time off. So those are blocks in itself. So for us, we focus on the those 2 games in between each week off. But our main focus obviously is who we play that week, and this week it's Wigan.
And you've had a new face in the squad this week with Harvey Wilson joining. How's he settled in, and what do you expect him to sort of bring to the group?
Yeah, the boys are real welcoming, easygoing squad. So he's fit right in. He's a quiet lad, but by the way he trains, he does his speaking through action. He's a good addition for us, and we see value in him. And at some point, he'll obviously get a game.
And then the other big news this week has been the granting of the Elite Academy license for the club. Now, that's not something we're going to see immediate dividends for, but it's something the club's been working towards really hard the last couple of years. How big a development is that for the club and the future of the club, being able to have that license and keep the talented young kids coming through and get them in Salford shirts eventually?
Yeah, it's massive news for the club, especially for the locals, the junior kids, especially those who come in and watch our games every week, for them to have a desire and a pathway to come through the ranks and at some point represent Salford. It's awesome news for any club, and for us, we know how big our fan base is, and the local juniors around our area. They've obviously got extra motivation in where their pathway is into how they can get into Super League.
And then just looking at Wigan now, the game earlier in the season sort of had it in your hands with 5 or so minutes to go, and it sort of slipped away. Are there lessons to learn from that, and is there a thing there of you push the World Club champions to that level, and if you push them a little bit further this weekend, you get the result?
Yeah, you always learn from every game, whether it's a win or a loss, and that was a hard lesson back then. Obviously, a new team now for both teams. They'll be fielding different players from that last game, and so will we. But we expect nothing but class from the world champs, like you said, and we'll be bringing our best foot forward.